up? What's up? It's the Arthur Most Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, dude?
Man, you know, we just trekking on through this thing, man. One day at a time, one sanitization spray and wipe at a time.
Yeah.
One hand wash at a time.
Well,
It's the time we're living in right now, man.
well, yeah. I figured you'd have all the precautions ready and laid out. That's who you are. One.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
go ahead,
it's not a bad thing,
Go
just
ahead.
because I think you're a little more inclined that way.
Yeah.
But then also you got a family to protect here.
But you do too, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. You said, man, forget my folks, man. I don't care about them. Oh, man.
But-
We had the conversation a little bit off air in terms of everybody is still going to be affected by this, regardless of if you feel like you're super healthy and clean and all that stuff. It's like you still going home to somebody, whether it's a mom, dad, brother, sister, significant other, kids, grandma. Like, it's somebody going to be affected by it. So you probably should just take the necessary precautions so that way we can go, and get back to normalcy as quick as possible.
True. It's not about you. That's all right.
Yeah.
Even though it's tough for me to believe sometimes.
Hey, man, seeing some of these people on spring break going to bars still, like, it's crazy.
That is nuts.
But shout out to the I guess the government infrastructure, the politicians, stuff like that. I know in Pittsburgh they started putting a ban on bars that I think they can't have anybody inside drinking. Yeah, so like you can get your beer or whatever to go, whatever, but you're not allowed to actually like sit in there together. And so that was one of the things they did. And they said first, if they catch people doing it, they'll fine you, and then if you continue to do it, they'll remove your liquor license.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, because you know how it is, man. Sometimes with small businesses, just in general, they are going to err on the side of staying open because they need the money. They're not like these bigger corporations. So for them, they're looking like, man, I got to stay open as long as possible. So I got to make sure I'm bringing in this money. But by putting in those mandates, it kind of takes the pressure off of them. I looked at it kind of like the concussion protocol, right? When you're in a game, you get a concussion. At first, it used to be you talk to your trainer. And you got to have that conversation with the trainer. Like, yeah, man, I think I should sit out. But you know what? I'm going to go back in because it's all in-house, right?
Yeah.
And obviously the trainer wants you to be out there because he wants the team to be successful. But when they brought in that independent neurologist, it kind of took that out their hands. So now you couldn't say, oh, well, man, my head hurts. I'm going to go out there. It was like, nah, if the independent guy said you're not going in the story. So I kind of looked at it that way, man, with these mayors and governors and stuff like that, putting those mandates in to make people have to shut down, to make people have to stay home, man. So I was like, shout out to them, man. Kudos for that.
Well, and it's funny going back to what you said there that it takes it out of everyone's hands because the market's probably there too. If someone says it stays open, dude, people want to get out of their house.
Come on, man.
I'm sure.
You know how it is. They start talking about that cabin fever setting in. They said literally the two things that are happening right now. Well, not the two things. They said the one thing, though, is like depression. They said the people in China. No, seriously. So they said because they were stuck in the house, and typically, like most people, you might get a weekend in the house. And for the weekend, it's not like you're staying in the house Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's typically Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
But for those people in China that had to stay in the house for weeks at a time, they said they got depressed, and it was like tough for them to overcome that just because you're so used to being out. You're so used to doing your day-to-day things. You're so used to being able to interact with people that when you're locked in, regardless of who you're in there with, like that's tough. So I was like, man, all right.
Yeah. The weather is turning too. It's tough. It's tough because that's the thing. Even if I want to get out, what's there to do? I mean, I guess.
Take a walk?
I was going to say, well, I do like walking.
Yeah.
I do that. But outside of that, of just hanging in nature, golfing, I don't know if any of those places are open, though.
And I'm sure our listeners, along with us, have received 1,000 emails from every company we've ever ordered from talking about the precautions that they're taking. Have you been getting those emails? Literally, any place I've shopped
I don't check, at least.
Yeah, so any place I've shopped at, man, they send an email out. COVID-19 update. we're letting you know that we're taking all the necessary precautions with our servers, with our staff, with our equipment to make sure that everyone is healthy and that you are welcomed here. Or they doing the blitz sales. Hey, everything is 50% off. 50% off, man, for the coronavirus sale.
You sound skeptical or cynical of that.
I don't have an issue with it. It's marketing, but it's just the first email, okay, cool. The second email, okay, cool. But literally every day I'm opening up,
okay.
like, you don't check emails like that, obviously.
No.
But literally any place that I've ever ordered from or have like had to log in an email address for, they send updates, man.
Well, here's what's funny.
Right now.
I go to LA Fitness, and I was thinking about going to the gym last week.
Oh, heck no.
Last week.
Woo, Lord. What? Boy, I'm good, boy.
Well, I told you.
You almost shut the whole podcast now.
I didn't go. But I told you, staying healthy, working out, sauna, certain things I think would help mitigate the virus. That's in my opinion. I don't know if it's... Anyway, I was thinking about it. I ultimately didn't go. But they didn't have anything on their Twitter, on their emails about what they're doing. Wow. So they stayed open. And then you see people in the comments like flipping out at LA like, yo, are you going to say anything about this? Are you going to say, hey, we're taking the next necessary precautions to stay clean?
Because that's crazy.
So they didn't do anything. I think they ended up shutting down. Actually, I don't even know. But
because they put a mandate where like all the gyms essentially like had to close. This would have been a couple of days ago. So literally, it's funny you said that a week ago that you were thinking that. As soon as we started seeing it spread, my wife looks at me and she's like, so you know you're not going to the gym this week, right? I was like, I guess you are right then. Shout out to the wife, hindsight 2020. So it's been a lot of home gym workouts, man.
Well, there's that, but then I also wanted to touch on, it's funny that you have the companies saying this stuff because people want to hear it. They
do.
Like I said,
it gives them that sense of comfort.
I was gonna say, like I said in the comments, people are flipping out because LA's not saying anything. But at the same time, you could be saying stuff and then just not doing it. Right?
The thing that got me was this. I felt like some cases they're saying stuff and they're kind of exposing how unhealthy or unclean they were prior to. So literally, I remember this clear as day. We're watching the news and it was the New York transit system. And they were talking about how they're going to stay open. And they said that now they're going to be scrubbing down all of their buses and trains twice a week. I say, whoa, what? I say twice a week. I said, what were you doing before then? If you're just upgrading to twice a week.
Once a month.
Like, whoa. And then, like, for example, some of the school emails that were coming out. Hey, man, we're going to make sure we take the necessary steps. Because this is when they were trying to stay open. Because remember, like, some of the, I think the Ivy League schools were the first ones. And the New York schools were the first ones to say, you know, we're going to close. So some of these emails start getting released. And people are posting them. And they're like, yeah, we're taking the necessary steps. We're going to make sure that we clean and sanitize our building every night. And we're like, so what were you doing before then, baby? Thanks a lot. Now I really don't believe you at all. Yeah, man.
That's funny.
In some of these places, like when you start seeing it's one thing for them to just say, hey, man, we're going to make sure we take the necessary steps to keep our environment safe, healthy, and clean. You know, you go into a little bit of detail, not too in depth, and you're fine because like, all right, you give them the benefit of the doubt. But when they go into like super, like, man, we're going to make sure we wipe off the handles twice a week. We're going to make sure we're spraying disinfectant spray once a day. I'm like, well, what exactly were you doing beforehand? Like, this is crazy.
Sometimes less is more, right?
Holy cow, man. Holy cow.
Less is more. You don't have to expose yourself.
Yeah, man. Because it was some exposing going on. I'm like, y'all thought that was a good idea, huh?
Keep people guessing. Leave it to people's imaginations.
Because it's rough.
I just find it funny, though, that people want that comfort of what's said as opposed to, I guess you don't know about the actions. But that's the thing that actually matters.
I think the thing is this, though, you take what people say for face value in terms of if you haven't been dishonest, if you haven't lied to me before, if you tell me, hey, we're going to take the necessary steps to make sure that we're cleaning this place, we're going to say, you know, I believe you. Whereas if you don't say anything at all, it's kind of like, well, first off, do you care? Do you care about my health and well-being? Because you haven't said anything about this yet.
To take maybe an hour or two and concoct a little message.
Like you could have at least said something. It's kind of like if your lady, she gets her hair done. and you know it looks good, but you don't tell her it look good. She like, well, dang, did you even notice my hair? Like, do you like my hair? And it's like, yeah, bro, like I told you it look like, you know it look good. Why I gotta tell you it look good?
It's a pride thing.
Yeah, you gotta hear it though. They gotta hear it, man. So same concept with this, man. Look, I know I'm ragging on y'all, all these different companies, big businesses, small businesses, all the emails y'all done sent me. I know I'm ragging on y'all, but still, you better send them emails. Otherwise, I'm gonna feel some type of way when it's all over. I'm gonna come to your business when it's all over. Like, oh, okay, you ain't want to send me an email. You feel, oh, so you didn't care about my well-being. Okay, well, I'm taking my talents down the street. How about that?
Everyone's in a tough spot here.
It is, man. You can't win.
Everyone.
Deke philosophy right now.
Exactly. Hindsight, vision, whatever you want to call it. Everyone's a critic.
Yeah, man.
Lose. Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But man,
yeah,
I feel like that was our little coronavirus status update.
I'm already thinking about what to put. You know, we have that like PTI bar on the side. I'm probably just gonna put the Corona saga.
COVID-19 emails. Okay, people would know exactly what you're talking about.
All right, I'll put that.
They would know exactly what you're talking about. But man, so obviously free agency has started. We talked about it a little bit the first day we were here, and literally the next day we found out we had some big news happening in Steeler Nation in terms of free agent signing. So to update all of the releases that transpired.
Yeah.
First off, let's see, Rosie Nix. That was a big one, man. Pro Bowl fullback. He got released this week. Tyler Matakadovich didn't get released. He signed with the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
2 years, $9 million. Anthony Chickala was released as well. Ramon Foster had retired. That happened right after we did our podcast. Right after, yeah. Big shout out to Moan, the OG. Love that dude, man. Consummate pro, man. Like everything about that dude, man. Stand up dude, man. Undrafted to 11 years in the league, man. Big time move for him, man. So big time major shout out for him. Let's see, BJ Finney, one of the guards that we talked about potentially replacing Ramon, has signed with the Seattle Seahawks on I think it was a 2 year, $8 million. Yep. Then let's see, Matt Filer, he got a second round tender. So that's going to be around probably like $3 million for him. Mike Hilton was also receiving a second round tender. That's going to be in that $2 to $3 million
those
range.
Are just 1 year deals, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Let's see who else. And with those tenders, I want to say, and the way the tenders work is teams can still offer them contracts, but if they were to offer a deal and the Steelers didn't want to match it, then the Steelers would receive a second round pick in return for that. So a lot of times when you tender a player that you really like, you put them at the second round or first round tender, and that kind of blocks other teams from going after them.
I'm assuming, because I'm glad you brought up the numbers, the higher pick you tender, that's a higher money amount then.
Yes. So if you did an original round tender, both of those guys are undrafted, it would have been 1.5
original round.
Yeah, so
that's wherever they were drafted.
And they're both undrafted. So it'd have been like high one. It was like 1.7, 1.8 million.
So
second round tender.
Teams could have took them up on that then probably.
Yeah. Because they don't have to give up anything.
Yeah.
Now if you did a second round tender, well now you're looking at, like I said, I think it's like mid $2 million range, and then first round tender would have been a $3 million range. So Taysom Hill with the New Orleans Saints got a first round tender. So even though it's only going to pay him like $3 million, a team that wants him would have to give up a first round pick for him. And most teams aren't going to give up first round picks like that for those type of players. We saw this happen with Victor Cruz when he was with the New York Jets before he signed his extension. The Giants had tendered him like that. And even though he was a hot commodity, teams weren't trying to give up that first round pick for him.
Why were they eligible for that?
So it's when you're drafted, you're not eligible. If you're drafted, in the first 7 rounds or whatever, then the team has you for 4 years for your contract. And if you're a first round pick, then you get the 5th year option. So that's how they combat it. So the way you incentivize teams taking a chance on a guy that wasn't drafted, you tell them, well, hey, look, if you take this guy as an unrestricted free agent or as an undrafted free agent and say he produced for you in those 3 years, well, you deserve some type of compensation for him. So to incentivize that, we're going to make him restricted. So he can't just go out into the market.
You say after it's 3 years then?
Yeah,
after 3 years?
Yeah, if you're not drafted, you get a 3-year contract.
Okay.
But after that 3rd year, now the team essentially says, okay, well, I want to keep him or I want to let him leave. I want to keep him, but I only want to pay this much for him. I'll keep him, but I'm willing to pay him this much. And if a team wants to come in there and give us that pick for him, okay, cool. And that's kind of the give and take of it. Because for those guys, they can't make the argument that, man, I should be unrestricted free agent when if that team didn't take that chance on you, you wouldn't have been in the league because they weren't drafted.
Kind of works both sides.
Mm-hmm. So that's how it works out.
I guess it would be interesting to see what those two would have got open market completely unrestricted. Or do you think around the 2-3 million a year range is what they would have got?
For both of those guys, it depends. For Matt, he probably would have got more just because he was a starting offensive lineman in this league. But for Mike, it depends on what you want from your nickel.
Because he's
corner.
A limited player.
Right. In terms of he's a better blitzer and run player, but not a better cover guy. So how do you value that? Then you look at a guy like Nikel Roby-Coleman, who has signed, I think it was a 3 for $15 million deal with the Rams 2 years ago. He just was released. So now you're going to see he's more of a just straight cover corner. So, okay, what's his market going to be? So those are kind of the things that you see when you're talking about a Mike Hilton. And that's the thing that's kind of like up in the air because he's not a number 1 or number 2 corner. And that's the whole like dilemma with him. But for him, this is still going to be a substantial raise for him compared to what he's seen in the past years.
And then they'll both be unrestricted next year then.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think just that year in between
it
helps.
would equate it to them being a 4-year deal.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense then.
And then you have some guys, the other thing, so that's the restricted free agents. Then you have exclusive rights free agents. Those are the guys that had come in as an undrafted guy, might have been released from somebody else. Al Villanueva, matter of fact. He was an exclusive rights guy. So he didn't get drafted. He was with Philly. Philly cuts him. We sign him. We bump him up. He starts playing well. Technically, it was like a 1-year deal at the time. So when the deal was done and he became the starter, well, now he wanted to hit the market. But because the Steelers that took the chance on him, they essentially had exclusive rights to him. So no other team could talk to him because they took the chance on him. So then, okay, after that 1 year of exclusive rights free agency, then the next year he became a restricted free agent. But by then they had already worked out an extension for him. But they technically could have lowballed him for 2 years in a row before ever giving him a contract.
Interesting. Yeah.
But that just, like I said,
because he could have only played for us, especially during that exclusive rights.
Exclusive rights. Yep. He could have. It was either you play for the Steelers or you don't play at all because they took the chance on you.
Yeah.
And then when you became a restricted free agent, it's like, all right, well, we can tender you at this where we know nobody's going to touch you. And if they do, well, we're going to get a 2nd-round pick or a 1st-round pick for you. A lot of teams, like I said, they shy away from that because for them, they would much rather just draft their own guy than take a chance on somebody that might not be as proven or have done it for a long period of time.
Right.
But in this case for Al, they were able to work out a contract with him, and they kind of like settled everything. Whereas Mike Hilton went through a similar situation these past 2 years. And the reason why it wasn't talked about as much is because he showed up to work every day. And you can look at it as a benefit or a negative. When you show up to work every day, the perception is you're happy, even though, he was trying to get that contract worked out the whole time. But he went about it that way because he felt like, hey, man, as long as I'm showing up, let the organization know I want to be here and I'm going to keep getting better. Whereas you have the other guys who take their approach like a Le'Veon did, and you see all the scrutiny that goes with that. So it's really just a personal preference. Neither is right or wrong in terms of getting the deal done, but one's a lot more heavy-handed.
Well, yeah, I think Le'Veon's, we've talked about this before, what made way more sense for him in his situation. Mm-hmm. They were going to give him a lot of carries that year, and he already was proven for 3-4 years already that he's an elite running back. So, everyone's got their own way of doing it. Did we miss anyone else in terms of Steeler moves? I know we obviously signed Derek Watt. Yeah,
we haven't got to that yet. We're just talking about everybody that was on. And Sean Davis, he signed with the Washington Redskins. Right. 1 year, $5 million. And who else signed? Trying to think, we re-signed long snapper Cam Kennedy.
Well, Javon Hargrave.
Oh, and Hargrave, signed with the Eagles, man. A 3 year, was it 39?
It was like 13 a year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm trying to think. Big shout out to him, man.
Yeah,
he definitely earned that, man. Super proud of him. He becomes the highest paid nose tackle, man. 1AA brother. So yeah, man. Big ups to him, bro.
Yeah, we were just talking about him last podcast too. We were expecting a big payday, so good for him.
And it's funny, we talk about who won between him and Bud, and I said he did because he got a chance to hit the open market and get paid. Whereas a lot of times when you look on social media and the conversation was, you're going to franchise Bud was one hit wonder. I can't believe you let him walk. If you're Bud, you would have loved to walk because if you get to hit the open market, man, That 15 he was going to get this year, he was going to get something stupid on the open market. And that's just
who else was out there in terms of pass rushers? There was no one else out there.
That's the issue, man. Like, fans look at the franchise tag like, oh yeah, man, you should like take this with honor and enjoy the fact that we're even tagging you as a player. They're like, man, the tag sucks. The tag is like the worst thing ever because you could hit the market and get sometimes double, even triple that on a per year basis and guaranteed money basis. Whereas you think about the difference between Hargrave and Bud right now. Bud's getting 15.8 fully guaranteed this year. You look at Hargrave's deal. Hargrave, I think he's 23 or 24 fully guaranteed. Before he does anything, 24 guaranteed. That's the win. And he's going to hit the market again after 3 years.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're franchise tag, Bud has to first off stay healthy this year. Bud has to make sure that he produces again this year. It's a lot of factors, man.
Bud definitely has the chance to double dip, though.
He does, yes.
Yeah. Like there's more potential there, but like you said, he's got to perform.
Yeah, he has more to lose right now than Hargrave. Like if both of those dudes got hurt tomorrow, God forbid, or both of those dudes went out there and stunk it up next season, Hargrave's still gonna get more money out of this thing because of the guarantee portion of it.
Yeah.
Whereas Bud, if he goes out here and let him go out here and have 2 sacks or 4 sacks this year, and go see what type of money he gonna make out there. Like that's the issue with it. But for the fans, man, they look at it like, hey, man, shoot, boy, you lucky you got that franchise tag, man. We shouldn't have gave it to you. We should have gave it to somebody else.
No, I think it made sense for both sides. Yeah. And the amount that he's getting on this franchise tag, $15 million, I don't think he's complaining too much. I thought we talked about that, though.
All I'm saying is this. You like the dollar amount, but the end game, you want double, triple that. And typically, if you hit the market, you think he was only going to get 15 million fully guaranteed if he hit the market?
50 or 60?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you tell me if he's happy or not.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking he's going to ball out and he's going to have either the chance they're going to franchise him again and it's going to be 20 million next year.
And understandably, you know what I mean? That's the mindset that he is going to ball out again. He's probably not going to get franchised again because they're already going to have to get that deal done with TJ Watt. We know that's going to probably be one of them crazy deals.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about pass rushers, when you're talking about young players, the 15 is cool for the short term. But like you said, he has a chance if he was on the market right now to get 50 fully guaranteed. Just think about that, man. That's sick.
Yeah.
You look at what did Trey Flowers get, man? When Trey signed with the Detroit Lions, it was 5 for 90 with 60 guaranteed, fully guaranteed. Bud was way more productive than him.
I guess my thing is I'm just thinking that 50 or 60 is going to be guaranteed next year anyway.
Well, you're hoping so, but what does it fall back on? He has to stay healthy.
I know, right.
And he has to produce.
Right.
Those are two major factors, especially in the NFL where dudes get hurt all the time.
So you would take, though, if you're in Bud's situation, or it's just you in general getting offered these contracts, you would take the 24 million guaranteed for those 3 years as opposed to having this tag and then potentially the flexibility of next free agency.
First off, just think about this. First off, 2 different positions. I'm saying what Bud's projected market would have been was going to be a lot higher than 24 million.
Right.
So if you're going to do that conversation like that to make it apples to apples, not apples to oranges, you would have to look at what the tag was going to be for Hargrave. If he would have got franchised, probably wouldn't have been 24. Probably been like 12.
Okay.
10 maybe. Because he's getting franchised as a nose tackle. So it's a lot lower. And then have that same conversation. Would you rather take that 10 guaranteed or been able to hit the market and get that 24 guaranteed? So for Bud, that 15, right? So for Bud, that 15 as a pass rusher is good for 1 year. But what he would have got on the open market, at worst, like I said, at worst, if it was 25 fully guaranteed at signing, that's worst case. That's still 10 million more. He would have had way more than that. You see what I mean?
Yeah, there's no way it would have been
right.
25.
So that's why I'm like, for guys, the franchise tag sucks. I mean, you take the 1 year, but it's so much that has to go right that following year in terms of health, in terms of productivity. Otherwise, you're not going to get that 60 next year. If he goes out here and gets hurt, say he were to, like I said, God forbid any of this happens, say he were to go out there and have a major knee injury and it was over. He's not getting 60 next year. We saw that with Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan Shazier was in line to get one of those groundbreaking, like record-breaking deals. Got hurt, that deal don't come. So that's why you want to get that long-term deal done. You want to get that. That's the thing Le'Veon fought for. I want the guaranteed money because at the end of the day, if I don't got that guaranteed money, if something goes wrong, whether it's productivity, whether it's health, whether it's a change in management, I'm stuck.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man.
I guess this is gonna be a really bad pun. you want the guaranteed money because there's no guarantees.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, mind blown.
That's deep.
Jeez. But that's how it works, man. So, like I said, man, Bud, he's definitely. I mean, you're not gonna bulk at the 15 without a doubt, but you just know what you could have got.
You'd prefer that,
yeah, because it would have been a lot more
Understood.
and fully guaranteed. So it takes a lot of that pressure off of you. Of having to perform, of having to stay healthy. And not saying that athletes don't want to go out there and perform at a high level when they do get paid, but you do get a chance to say, whew, okay,
I'm good.
Now
I'm
the
good
money
as
side stand. Yeah.
I'm good as a person now.
Right. Now I can just focus on, I just want to be great. Let me just do whatever it takes. Let me do whatever it takes to win a Super Bowl. Like you go to that phase then.
And it's probably not as simple as, all right, I got paid and my stats and my production isn't the same, because a lot of times when that happens, you're going to a different team.
Correct.
So there's
an adjustment period.
There's a lot of factors there too.
Absolutely, man.
So did we want to discuss these releases, or do we want to get into
you, man,
as a whole?
What were your thoughts first off on the Derek Watt signing?
Derek Watt.
Yeah, man. 3 years, $9 million.
My initial
fullback, special teamer.
My initial reaction was, all right, we're doing this just for the name. We're doing this just to get fans excited. I'm not about this because we already have Rosie, and I really like Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie a dog, man.
So that was my initial reaction, and that's what over $3 million a year.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, you could have got another piece there. With that type of money, but I don't know if that money would have been available if not for all these other restructurings and releasings and whatnot. But then I texted you, or no, I think you might have texted. You texted me the news, and I'm like, I hadn't, because you could tell my response. I had like no reaction. Like, what does this mean?
Because I found out I was like doing my radio show. And I get the update on air, and I'm like, "Whoa, what?"
Oh, so you were thinking that too?
Yeah. Well, the thing was because the guy, one of my co-hosts that I was doing the show with, we had just got done having a conversation about Tyler Matakavich to the Bills, and how he was talking about, oh, they grossly overpaid for Tyler Matakavich. The fans still a nation. Oh man, y'all can have Dirty Red for that. 2 for $9. What? You're paying a special teamer that? You're crazy. And then literally an hour later, the Steelers 3 for $9.
Yeah,
Derek Watt. I'm like, yo, I'm like, okay, you add the extra year. So from a per year standpoint, I think it was $1 million less. But I'm like, dude, are we for real right now? Like, so you laugh at the Bills and say they grossly overpaid for Dirty Red, who led the league in special teams tackles since he's been in. But you applaud the Derek Watt side. They say, oh, this is a great deal, man.
Dude,
I love this.
Why though? Come on.
It was funny to me, man.
You know why? It's the last name. So I didn't have, like I said,
but you got that $1 million cheaper. Man.
I was pissed about us not having Rosie anymore.
Yeah.
But whenever I was talking to you about it, it made sense from the standpoint that he can play the fullback position and then also do the special teams work of Matakavich.
Yeah.
So you're kind of double dipping there, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah. And essentially on paper, that's what it sounds like. But when I looked at it, I said, man, you're asking Derek Watt to essentially take over the productivity of 2 Pro Bowl special team caliber players. Rosie has been to the Pro Bowl. He has been a crazy animal.
He was that. I mean, he was the special teamer, and then he was a beast being a fullback. Yeah,
and then Tyler has been a Pro Bowl alternate multiple years. Has led the league in special team tackles multiple years. So it's not like you're just asking Derek Watt to come in and just take over one of their duties. You're asking him to take over both. That's a lot. Then who else did we get rid of? Anthony Chickalo. That was the third wheel in terms of the special teams productivity that the Steelers have had throughout the years that they've been there. So for me, I was like, man, you're asking a lot for just this one guy to come in here and hopefully be able to do the same type of impact that those 3 guys have been having on special teams. And then I guess when I looked at it a little bit more, they said on average this past year, he averaged 1 special team tackle per game. And they said he played around 8 snaps on offense per game. So for me, I'm just like, I felt like the price was a little bit steep because for the fullback position, especially in Pittsburgh, like
is that a good special teams number? 1 tackle per game?
It is, because that's still gonna have you at the double digit realm. So you love that part of it. But I guess for me, when I'm looking at the numbers of the contract and I'm saying to myself, well, we don't use a fullback like that. Even when Rosie was healthy.
No, people were complaining. People would get pissed that he's not in more.
Like, we don't use a fullback like that. And you have to think about this. If this was last year, and now granted, Rosie was hurt a lot last year.
Yeah.
But when Ben plays, Ben is hardly ever under center. So I understand that you might have the fullback out there every once in a while, but you're not even going to be able to have this dude out here 15, 20 snaps for what he's getting paid. And I just thought that was a reach in terms of what they paid him. But at the same time, I said, you would be a fool to not think that, hey, man, they're thinking, if you're the ownership, you're thinking, hey, man, if we can get Derek Watt in here, you pay him a nice little contract, 3-year deal. We got negotiations with TJ coming up. Hopefully that helps out a little bit. You're a fool if you think that doesn't play into it, because it does. Because you want to keep it when it comes to negotiations. And I can tell you firsthand, I've had a good amount of experience with them. They try to do whatever it takes to make that deal sweet, but at the same time to not have to. I'm all right.
No, dude.
Yeah.
No, listen. I'm not.
That's the business.
I'm not discrediting that
bro.
at all. I'm laughing at it because it's funny.
So trust me, man. They make that move. It's like, all right, TJ, we took care of your brother. Now,
whoa,
we still gonna pay you, but hey, show a little love.
I mean, you know what all the other fans and Steeler fans are thinking right now too.
Are we gonna get the third one? Heard Bill O'Brien is giving them away right now. Might say some crazy stuff with it, but he's giving them away.
Well, I mean, is that in the back of you think their mind too?
Man. I mean, it can't hurt the call. Like I said, the way Bill O'Brien's handling situation,
here's the problem. He's got to have a massive contract right now.
Absolutely.
So you're hoping whenever he's up on that contract that, hey, my 2 brothers are in Pittsburgh. I'll play on. I've never done anything here in Houston because Houston's tanking. It seems like. Why not go play at Pittsburgh for a cheap deal for a couple of years? Play with my brothers. That'd be an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah, man. Never know. Well, if from a historian standpoint, at least the Steelers could say they have 2 sets of brothers on the team at the same time too, with Trey Edmonds and Terrell Edmonds, and then you also got Derek and TJ. So
I mean, we're trying to win games though.
I'm just saying, bro. Hey, man, we rolling with history.
I mean,
man.
If that means winning games, I'm good.
Hey, man, you saw that was one of the first things they put out there. We got 2 sets of brothers on the roster right now. Boom.
Who did that? Like Steelers Twitter?
Yes. Come on, bro. What? You got to get plugged in. What are you doing right now with yourself? Plug in.
I want to win games.
Yeah.
Man. I want to win games. I mean, that stuff's cool. I guess it's a good little story, but come on.
That's what they talking about right now.
Because that was my initial reaction with the move. I'm like, all right, it's just the whole brother connection thing. Can he play? If he can play, I'm good with it. That's all.
Well, like I said, man, we're not taking anything away from Derek. Derek is definitely a very productive player. I just don't think that this move makes them any better than what they were already doing currently with Rosie and Tyler. And when I see the deal, I'm like, man,
dude, losing Rosie, that's the thing. It's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, I felt like you could have pushed a little bit harder to keep Tyler Matakadovich for the number that you paid Derek. And that was the thing that I'm just looking at. Like,
but I'd rather keep Rosie though over Matakadovich then.
But this is the thing. It didn't have to be either or. You could have had both. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do that, I'd much rather you had kept both of those dudes.
How though? Because
what do you mean how?
With Watt's contract,
they still have money. They still have enough to go out there and get another free agent right now.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on what they do with this.
So that's my thing. It's like they can't get a high-end free agent,
right?
But it's like they still have enough money now to go get somebody because of all the restructures that they've done.
So you could almost look at it as all the releases. Mm-hmm. We tagged Bud.
The restructures they did.
We tagged Bud, and then the restructures, and then we kept Hilton and Filer. Mm-hmm. For the most part, we'll see if most likely at least with these second rounders, and then we brought in Watt. So whatever we do with that other one is kind of the trade off of everything that's happened.
So we'll see how that which direction they go and things like that. So yeah,
you hearing anything on that?
I haven't, not yet, but they have said that they are done releasing people and that they are still going to be looking to pick up somebody
for
$3,
$4 or $5 million.
More than that. That's going to be the range tops.
But you can still get a quality player for that.
Yeah, man. But that's my thing. I'm just kind of like, I feel like the money could have been spent a little bit better. That's all.
How so? So you would have kept Metakevich and
I definitely would have, because, okay, this is what we're comparing. We're saying that, hey, we're getting a guy that's really good at special teams, right? In terms of his productivity. But you had one of the best players on special teams in Tyler Metakevich. You're paying more now for a fullback when I think we all can agree that Rosie is the better fullback. And that was my thing. So it's like Rosie is just as good on special teams and could play fullback a lot better. And he was still on a cheaper deal.
Okay, so we wouldn't have signed Watt then.
Correct.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So we wouldn't have the space then to make an extra move either.
We still would, though.
Really?
That's what I'm telling you.
If we had Rosie,
depending on the deal that they could have got Tyler for. If they could have got him at 9 or even at 8.
The same deal. We'll just say
it still would have been the same.
And we already had
Because think about this. Derek is at 9.
What about Rosie's contract, though?
Rosie was going to count for like $1.2 million this year. Tops.
On the cap, even.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Not even on the, I don't even think on the cap. That was going to be his salary for the year, though. Yeah, his contract was front loaded. Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes, dude.
On, man.
So that's my thing. So that's why when I looked, I was like, like it don't really move the needle for me. I understand what they're trying to do.
Now the whole TJ Watt thing makes a lot more sense.
I ain't just come up with it out the air. Like, you thought I was just pulling out the air? Let me just throw this out here.
Well,
like,
no, that's what I'm saying.
I was looking at the numbers like...
I'm glad we broke it down more.
I'm looking at the contracts and I'm just kind of like, okay, now granted, this could have been a reaction to Tyler leaving because Tyler did leave first prior to them giving Derek that deal. But I'm like, you can't sit here and tell me that you didn't say to Tyler, hey man, we'll pay you 8.5 to stay. And he's like, nah, I'd rather take 9 to go to Buffalo. Like, I personally don't see that.
Whole Belichick scenario with Brady.
Yeah, I just don't see that personally. But then it's like, you let him leave and then you gonna pay Derek essentially what you could have paid him. And in turn, you lose 2 high quality players instead of just 1.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I told you I was definitely disappointed in losing Rosie, and now that you're breaking all this down on the surface for this year, yes, I don't like the move, but I guess
like I said, I see the long term plan, and Derek is still going to be productive.
Yeah, dude, if he could play, I don't care.
Derek's going to be productive. I just look at it like instead of losing 2 guys, you could have essentially kept both of those dudes and been fine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Now you're losing 2 proven special teamers, 2 guys who've been in the system, 2 guys that you developed. One guy was a draft pick. One guy you took on after he got released from the Falcons, and essentially have watched them grow and develop. And you let both of those dudes essentially leave out the door for another guy who's productive. But you can make the argument that he wasn't as productive as either of those 2 guys solely.
Right.
In terms of when you look at special teams productivity, Tyler Metakevich had more productivity. When you look at the fullback special teams combo, Rosie has been more productive in that regard. So for me, that was my biggest thing. I'm just like, I don't understand why you make that move with that money associated with it. Now, if it was if it was $7 million or even $6 million, I was like, okay, look, that's a substantial difference. But that contract wasn't substantially different from Tyler's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I'm glad you broke that down, though. I think things are...
And when you look at Rosie's contract being cheaper, it wasn't like they got a discount. It's like they're paying more.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do with this cap space. Let's see if we can make a little splash move. That's all. Maybe not too much of a splash, but I
don't know what type of splash you
productive player.
I was say you said splash. What's your definition of splash? I feel like we'd be having different definitions for certain words.
We're kind of set, man. We just need some depth now. Yeah. That's all. What?
No. Oh, yeah, and when you said depth, shout out first off Zach Banner. He did. He re-signed. He was on 1-year deal, and I thought it was a good deal for him. Now the number was low. It was like 1 year, 1.5, I think it was. But for him, you got to think about this. He's going to get an opportunity to compete for that starting right tackle spot. Him versus either Matt Filer or Chooks Okorafor.
Could one of them move to guard then?
Well, no. This is the thing. We're anticipating Matt Filer getting moved to guard.
Really? Okay.
So then it would be Zach Banner versus Chooks Okorafor for that starting right tackle spot. So you're looking at having 2 new starters on this offensive line in terms of Matt having to move positions and then either Chooks or Zach becoming the new starting right tackle. So it's question marks around that. So it's not just, everything is set in stone.
We're good at guard though. I like Filer going to guard.
Well, he played it that one game.
I don't even remember that.
That was versus the Rams. So that was the whole thing.
I'm just assuming. I'm just assuming he had a really nice year at right tackle, and I'm assuming the tackle position is a little harder than guard.
Well, they're different. It's kind of like inside linebacker versus outside linebacker. So it's like you can have Vince Williams who got 10 sacks rushing from inside, but you put him at outside and it's a different animal. So that's why I'm like, it's not as simple as you make it sound. Like, oh man, we good at line. Like, nah, not all the way. It's gonna take a little,
I like that though. I mean, if you're putting Fowler at guard and you do Banner versus Okafor for the right, the right tackle. Outside of that, I mean, D tackle maybe with Bugs. But
but even I feel like
that's what I mean.
I feel like D tackle's fine. I'm more concerned with the offensive line right now.
I'm feeling good with where we're at. That's what I mean. I think,
and the reason why I'm concerned with the offensive line on top of that is because you got Ben coming back, your boy, and you want him to stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly. We do.
So we need him protected.
They will.
That's all I'm saying.
They will. We're gonna be good, man.
All right. Which is a perfect transition.
Is it?
Because we got Tom Brady that just signed with the Bucs, right?
Yeah.
First, what's your reaction to that? Because we're going to get right into what I really want to talk about.
Really?
Yeah. So first, what's your reaction, man, to Tom going to the Bucs?
It was a good move for him.
You liked it a lot?
Do I like it? I mean, I don't know if I like it. I like it for him.
Why you like it for him?
I just think it's a good move. I think it's a smart move. His roster's a lot better than I think where he could have signed other places.
Got some receivers.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, some dogs.
And outside, OJ Howard's been hurt, but he definitely has a lot of potential.
Absolutely, he can ball.
And then Braid's a pretty decent second tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing crazy, but whatever. And they're probably going to draft a running back, I'm assuming. So that's going to be a decent lineup for him. And I'm sure they're going to get someone in free agency here. Someone's going to sign there for
I'm excited.
You're excited?
What?
What do you mean? I didn't think you were a Brady guy.
Why would you think that?
Because you ripped on him all last year.
No,
as I was trying to tell you, he's still top five.
I was a realist when I said last year Russell Wilson was better than Tom Brady. That's called being a realist. But we don't have realist conversation with you because you're going to say Brady is not better than Ben Roethlisberger. And that's where we're always going to have this disconnect. So for me,
listen,
I don't want to hear any of this. You're not a Brady guy. You're not a this guy. I'm just a realist. I love a lot of these dudes. Competed against them, like know someone personally. But for me, I just like to just call it like I said. Like, hey, if I'm watching tape and I'm seeing certain things transpiring here and it's not transpiring here, I'm going to say that. I'm not going to just say, well, I love this guy so much that I'm blind to all of that.
That's what I mean. It wasn't Brady's fault, though.
Whatever you say, man.
That's all I was saying. I was saying he was still top five. I can't remember what you said about that.
I simply said, who's better this year? I think this past year. I said Russell Wilson was the better quarterback this past year.
And you let me ramble about a lot of stuff. I don't know if you even said top five.
No, I just simply said who's better between those two guys. I leave the top five alone because I don't even want to get into that because we already know you. Anytime you say that Ben is the number one quarterback with Patrick Mahomes in the NFL, with Drew Brees in the NFL, I'm just like, I can't have that conversation with you. So I don't even go there.
I'm trying to dissect my top five right now because whenever that conversation comes, it's going to be tough.
It's not. You're going to say Ben at number one, and then from there, I don't care about the rest of the conversation.
That's what I mean. The rest of my rankings is going to be tough to fit in.
As soon as you say Ben at one, bro, it's like I got to throw your whole ranking away, bro.
Someone's unfortunately going to be six. They're going to be out of the top five.
The fact that Mahomes is not the clear-cut one, I got to throw your list away. Like, I can't help it. I'm sorry.
Dude, I've been saying
like what? What are we talking about?
I've been saying Ben's won my whole life, and I'm not going to stop.
Exactly. So for me, so how does that even make it a legit conversation to have?
We could talk about other things, I guess. That's fine because I think you're starting to get used to like, all right, we're talking Ben, and this isn't really going anywhere. Let's just move on.
And that's what I always do.
So that's fine. Yeah, we can just talk about other stuff.
But we're talking Brady right now to the Bucs, and the reason why I'm hype about it is because first off. Like I said, man, he's still a dope quarterback. I don't care about his age. And he did have a lot of receivers with drops. He had a depleted receiving core in New England, nowhere near as talented as what he's walking into right now in Tampa. When you look at those receivers in Tampa, he's walking into 2,000-yard receivers. And that's not even counting Brashard Perriman.
Are they keeping it?
They might. I don't know.
They keep it.
Like, well, he had over 600 yards. That would have been top two on our team receiving.
Well, here's what happened because one of them got hurt, so he came in as the next receiver. Then the other one got hurt, so he was the number one, and he was playing like the number one, like the first round pick he was. So if you get him as your third receiver,
right,
man.
That's dangerous.
It is.
That's all they need to do is get a running back, and they can either do that through free agency. There's still some available running backs out there, or the draft. So you have some options. So that's why I'm like, dude, and he has the tight end. He has OJ Howard can ball. We know he can ball.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm like, dude, I'm excited to see him down there because he hasn't had an offense like this, like in terms of the weapons in years. Now, granted, he might have had one or two pieces. Now, no, we can go about it because, okay, you can say he had Gronk, but for even the last year they won the Super Bowl, who was, they had Gronk. Gronk, and then Edelman. Edelman was still inconsistent. He was because he missed the first half of the year with the suspension that year. They won the Super Bowl.
Am I off on this? But did Gordon play that whole year? Or no.
No, he was. Remember, he was in and out as well because he didn't even play in that Super Bowl. Because remember that he played half of the year, and then when he was about to play us was when he had the whole going into rehab. I'm taking myself away from the team type thing.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because the one I think he had like 700 or 800 yards.
Yes. Yeah. His first year there. Then the second year was when they were that's the year they won the Super Bowl. Because remember, he never played a full season up there.
I think I'm trying to put this all together. Mm-hmm. I think they lost that Super Bowl actually against the Eagles, right?
Yes.
Okay, they lost. And then did he come back and he barely played? Yes. And then they won against the Rams. Okay.
Because the game, literally, he was still on the roster until leading up to the game versus us. And that's when he checked him into rehab. And then we ended up beating him. We ended up beating Brady. And then they lost again to Miami on the last second, like Hail Mary play where Gronk is trying to tackle the guy.
And we lost to the Saints. Mm-hmm. Okay, now this is all adding up now.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
So it's like over the past couple of years, he might have had one or two talented players, but he hasn't had the core group of talent like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like who was his true number one? No. Think about it.
Those running backs though with James White and Sonny Michel. I said, who is his true
number one receiver been? Bro, Julian Edelman or Gronk?
Listen, bro, I'm with you, man.
So for me, I'm with you.
Dude. I'm just saying. They had a certain system in place for him to win games.
I'm not saying they have a system in place. I'm simply saying it was not as talented as what he's walking into in Tampa. 100%. That's what I'm saying right now. This is going to be one of the most talented offenses that he's played on for a while.
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm with you. It is going to be exciting, and we'll see what happens.
No, I see because now you get nervous. Huh? I just saw the nervous look. You were like, "Yo, I'm about to get on this Brady, the Bucs train. Hold on, that means they might be better than Pittsburgh. Wait a minute, I got to start recalibrating this thing." Okay, all right. I saw the look.
Well, that's my point. I'm not trying to jump on any train here because it's Steelers or die. I don't mess with any other team. I can't stand people that have second teams or get excited. We're not even
saying second teams, but it's a thing called like being a realist.
I just like Brady. It's good for him. It's gonna be exciting to see. What?
You funny.
What do you mean?
You're funny, man.
What?
We just having a real conversation right now,
I am
bro.
too, yeah.
That's always having a real conversation right now.
Okay, yes. Yeah. So what do you mean? What was so funny about that?
Just your face, man. Huh? Because you were getting excited and you're like, hold on, I can't do that. I saw the look on your face like, I'm not allowed to. No, I got to make this where Steelers are going to be the best team ever next year. Period.
No, it's
cool. I saw the look on your face. I saw it. I saw the. It was like, I'm looking to do. Hold on. No. Hey, wait a minute now.
No, because here's what happens. Here's the problem. And ESPN does this. All news networks do this. Sports news networks. Something happens. All right, Brady to Bucs. Okay. And then it's just overload of, it's amazing, blah, blah, Brady, this and that, the Bucs, best team ever. I don't want to hear it.
The best team ever, but.
Because, and here's my point, people bailed on Brady last year saying he sucked, and now you're going to come back
and said he sucked?
Everyone did last year.
Bro, why are you in your feelings?
I'm not.
I'm in your feelings.
I'm just saying.
People bailed on Brady, man. Nobody loved. They were in the playoffs. We weren't in the playoffs. They were in the playoffs.
Yeah, but people bailed on him saying he lost it.
Well, they expected him to find a way to beat the Titans.
They
did.
Well, here's the thing. I went over those rankings in the middle of the season. They had him ranked at like 12th or something like that.
At the time, that's what the play reacted. That's what the play reflected.
A lot of people were ripping on it, but that wasn't his fault. And that's what I was saying. He's still top 5. People bailed on him. All of a sudden, new team, Brady's back.
But it's hard for you
he's
to say.
Always been there.
My thing is this. It's hard for anybody to take your quarterback ranking serious when you got an injured Ben as a number 1.
Yeah, but you...
Stop it.
That's what I said. You can just throw that out if you want.
How do you throw that out? I'm just saying, like, that is the disconnect right now, man.
I think you're the only one doing that, though.
I think there's a lot of people that do that, man.
Well, and I'm talking to these people and I'm talking to you. Just separate. Just understand. Just understand who I am.
How do you separate that? Like how? I'd rather you just say Ben isn't on the list. No. Ben is on a separate list.
I don't know.
Then how's it a list then? Like the list doesn't make sense.
Because watch out. That's what I'm telling you. Watch out. Watch out.
It's all good. So, who you think has more wins next year, man? Bucs or Steelers?
Man. It's tough.
And I'm not even going down your 15-1, 16-0 like gibberish. I'm just like in real life, like
real life.
Yeah, in real life, like who do you think?
Man, dude, this is tough.
Because I'm just looking at where we're sitting at right now.
You're putting me in a hole here.
No. And it's not. I promise, we're not gonna come back to this and say, "Well, you said this and that." It's just,
okay.
I'm just wondering because, like, for me, I looked at it this way. I said, "Okay, we know what the AFC North is gonna look like next year."
Well, are we gonna talk about that too a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it's like we know that our division didn't get easier.
No,
it's getting tougher.
No.
Now, when we look at the NFC South, outside of New Orleans, Carolina, who knows what they're doing? I feel like they're dumping assets.
I think that was a bad move, but
I do too. So we see that Tampa just got a lot better. And who am I forgetting? In Atlanta, who knows what's going on with Atlanta? They're still getting rid of assets as well. So I'm like, they do have the better chance in their division. So that's why I'm just kind of like, man, I can see them still having an easier path at that thing. Now, granted, with the way the new playoff system is going to be set up, if you don't get the 1 seed, it really doesn't matter because everybody has to play that extra game now. But for me, I'm like, I could see a scenario where they do have more of the regular season wins just because they're not going to have to run that gauntlet of a division like how we are. I mean, you're anticipating Joe Burrow going to Cincinnati, so you have to assume that they are going to improve because they're going to have the quarterback play. They're bringing back A.J. Green. We already talked about Joe Mixon. You see the Browns. They made some moves as well.
They did.
Huh?
You like the moves?
I ain't going.
So if we're going Bucs versus
I don't
Steelers,
like the fact that they gave up. They lost two of their linebackers though. I think that hurts.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah,
dude. I don't. You know what I pay attention to? Just.
Well, it's funny. So I'll remind you. So you remember the Thursday night game we went to? In Cleveland,
no,
right?
It was Schobert, right?
Yeah, the guy who had the picks in the Tampa too.
Yeah, but I thought that was just a lucky game for him. He wasn't really that good.
Wow, he's been like a Pro Bowler for what, 2 years now?
Did he actually make the Pro Bowl?
Yes.
Was that off garbage stats though?
Garbage stats? What?
I'm just asking because he's not talked about that much.
He's not talking because he plays in Cleveland.
Okay, I'm just asking.
It's a lot of people that we can say in Pittsburgh that sometimes are talked about more so because they play in Pittsburgh, not necessarily because of the productivity though. I'm not going to name names because I ain't doing that.
Yeah, but here's my point. There's guys on crappy teams that make a lot of tackles because they're on crappy teams. You know what I mean?
And I'm saying there's guys that are on really good teams that don't even have legit stats because they're on good teams. They get the nods into the
So here's all I'm asking. Legit. Yeah. He's legit though.
He's legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they lost
That's
him.
all I'm saying.
He had the 2 picks against us. And then was it Kirksey?
Yeah. He's another one that's been balling out.
He went to the Packers. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So those were legitimate moves that they lost. Okay. But then they got Hooper on offense.
Offensively, they definitely took some steps in the right direction.
And they signed a guard or a O-lineman, right? Conklin?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, and yeah, they're going to have Hunt back and Chubb. I mean, their offense is going to look good. I've read some things that Stefanski liked to do some double tight end sets, so that makes sense bringing Hooper in along with Njoku.
Yeah, Hooper could ball.
Yeah, and then you got Odell and
I'm
Landry.
Still trying to see what's going to happen with Njoku.
They got Baker though. Still, I mean, he kind of showed last year.
What did he show?
He was on the decline. He wasn't the same.
Because it's funny you say that. I hear the things that you say when you make your excuses for Brady, but you don't make those same excuses for Baker. I just found that interesting. Like for Brady, it wasn't his fault. It was the guys around him.
Look at the weapons of it.
Okay, so Odell was hurt for a long time. Njoku was hurt. We talked about the offensive line.
I was gonna say his line wasn't that good, but
but those are major pieces right there that we're talking about. But if it was Brady, you're bringing that up. When we talk Brady, and when he was ranked 12th, that was what you pointed to, right? Well, look at his weapons, man. Look who he has to go out there,
It's still worse than Baker's, though.
I'm just simply saying, how do you figure? His coaching staff was better in New England.
I mean, I'll give you that, but that's why New England kept winning.
Okay.
The Browns lost.
But all I'm saying is, how do you put all that on Baker, but yet you don't put that same stuff on Brady?
I mean, his stats sucked.
And Brady's
What do you
They
have?
were decent. He had 4,000 passing. Was it 24 touchdowns? I think it was single digit picks.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, man, like you're quick to, if it's Brady, if it's Ben, you're gonna give every excuse in the book, every benefit of the doubt.
Listen,
but when it's Baker in year two, we already talked about sometimes in year two it's a lot harder than year one because it's more film on you. People know a lot more about you. But now we name all the injuries, we name all this, fact there's a new head coach on top of that, all this other stuff. But that's cool. Hey man, Baker sucks.
It takes a lot to get on my good list. Mahomes finally made it,
but he's still not your best quarterback in the league, which is that says a lot right there about your list. Like I can't, bro.
There's a good list though. Like if you're on the good list, like I'm backing you. Though.
Listen. It's unanimous. The best quarterback in the league right now is Patrick Mahomes. It's not even a debate. I think so. The fact that you're trying to say is big.
You know who wouldn't say that though? Probably is Skip. But I mean, I'm starting to get into that category right now.
You are. You definitely are, bro. I'm like, it's just. But crazy.
I don't take myself seriously. So there's that. I think Skip takes himself seriously.
Oh man,
no one should be taking me seriously.
It's just crazy.
All right, so hold on real quick though. Back to the Bucs and Steelers question. Yeah. I'm surprised you even brought up the Steelers because I thought you were going to say Bucs or Patriots. Who's going to have the better record?
Nah, I is
that a given? That's a given. Bucs are.
I think it largely depends on first off what the Patriots do at quarterback, and then what do they do to improve that offense in terms of their weapons, receivers. Like if I don't, because they franchise tag their guard. I think it's Joe. Thuney, I think they say.
They lost two key defenders, Collins and Van Noy.
Yeah. And you saw Van Noy went to Miami. Miami is definitely making some moves. All right.
Well, if they get Burrow,
got stockpiled in
draft picks. They're going to try to get Burrow, they're saying.
All I'm saying is, man, they bring in Jordan Howard. So they got a running back, got two top-notch corners. All right.
We'll see what they do at QB. QB is key for me.
Absolutely.
It's key for the league too.
Yeah.
So Bucs Steelers. So as soon as Brady went to the Bucs, I'm just assuming they're gonna get 12 or 13 wins.
Okay.
So if we're breaking this down objectively, and I'm looking at the Steelers, is 12 or 13 wins possible? I definitely think that. The likelihood, I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns with us.
See, I think that's where we differ.
What do you mean?
That's cool. You say you think 12 or 13 is like likely.
I definitely think it's possible. You don't?
I personally don't. Nah. I don't personally.
So but we would both agree that there's still some unknowns. If the unknowns are cleared up for the positive, could you say that though?
Well, no. My thing is this. I think if everything goes like how it should go, I think they're 11-win team. Personally,
might as well bump that to 12. I mean,
or I could bump it to 10.
Might as well go up to 12 though.
I might as well go down to 10. Play it safe.
You're feeling more in that 10 to 11 range then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like gut feeling was 10, but I'm like, because I'm a homer, I'm gonna say 11.
I want to say 1-1. It's tough. I felt like last year was the year for that. So this year, I don't know. This year, there's a little more uncertainty. Yeah. So maybe I'll drop it down a little bit and go 12 or 13. We'll see though.
Yeah.
We'll see when things get closer.
This is my thing. I'm looking at a couple of factors right now. Number one, we're still waiting on Ben.
Yeah.
And I'm erring on the side of he's going to be healthy. But I'm also a realist in terms of, okay, he was away from the game for a whole year. So you have to account for rest. I'm also looking at this coronavirus situation. What does that tell me? He's probably not going to get the full off season for his recovery. So when we're talking about his rehab, what was the whole steps we talked about? Getting cleared to throw, doing a couple throwing sessions with the doctors. Then after that, the OTA portion, right? Throwing in OTAs is big. Throwing in the mini camps is big. Throwing in training camps is big. So as of right now, he's not getting that.
Call up Juju.
I don't care who you calling up. Right now, he's not getting the practice reps that are going to simulate game reps of him getting that elbow back in condition.
That's what I mean. Call up Juju, call up Deontay.
But this is what I'm saying. It's difference between just throwing on air. So you calling up Juju, you calling Deontay, that's the equivalent of you doing your rehab right now. Hey, trainer, go stand 15 yards over there. Let me throw to you.
Isn't that equivalent of like OTAs though? Running routes and...
It is... from the route standpoint, not from the reaction standpoint. When you have the offensive line moving around you, guys at your feet, that all happens in practice and OTAs.
What about for your elbow, though?
For your elbow, okay, just the throwing element, fine. But it's different when you're saying, okay, I know for a fact I'm going to roll to my right and throw right now. It's different when you have to just react to it versus you know what you're going to do. You see you see the difference? And that's what he's going to miss out on from the lack of OTAs right now. That's what he's missing out on. It's different when, control combat. That's what we talk about, right? Why you think all quarterbacks look great in 7-on-7, then you put them in a team setting and they struggle. You want to see, man, you go to an NFL training camp. I guarantee you, Duck, Mason, any quarterback that's worth anything in 7-on-7, they're going to look elite.
Not scared, right?
Yeah, you don't have to. You're gonna you silly, bro. They look elite though because all they're doing is just throwing on air. They don't have to worry about a rush. They don't have to worry about bodies around them. They don't have to worry about their vision being blocked because of the pass rush and because of the O-lineman. It's easy. You put the O-line around it. You put all the different things around them. Now you don't have that beautiful release. Now you might have to side arm it. We've seen Ben do that before, right? You might have to side arm it. You might have to, I got to throw it this way. I got to roll up out here. I might need to step up. You don't get all of that when you're doing it on air. That's why we always tell you it's nothing you can do to simulate playing football except playing football. So you can do all the let's sit here and throw routes on air because these dudes do it all the time. You look at any quarterback guru, any of the off-season guys from college, they go, hey man, we're going out to California. We're going to throw with the quarterback guru. Yep. He going to have these receivers in here. They post a little clip on IG. Everybody goes nuts. Then you get to the game. What happens? Man, this dude's trash. So for me, I'm like, man, I understand that he's probably going to miss that. So it's safe to say he's probably going to be a little rusty at the beginning of this thing.
Of the season.
Yeah. If he's not getting all the things that he needs to transpire, not saying that he won't be healthy, but he will be rusty because he won't get all of that. So now you have to do it on the fly. And the difference is in practice, you can make those mistakes. In practice, you might be able to, you know what? All right, I'm going to cut it loose for this time. You know what? This ain't go the way I want it in practice because, hey, it's not wins or losses. It's just practice. Now, when you're doing that in the game and that, dang, I probably should have done it this way, but I wasn't comfortable with it, turns to an interception. Well, now we got issues.
Yeah. Do you know this is going in one ear and out the other for me here?
Well, you're the same person. Like I said, when we talked, they said that Ben was the best quarterback ever. Ben was better than Brady. Ben was better than Mahomes. So anytime we talk quarterbacks, I don't talk for the conversation to be. I don't talk for it to be a back and forth. I just throw my facts to you, and then after that, it's like, yeah, we can go on, man, because I already know you're gonna say something outlandish.
I'm not gonna say anything outlandish. It's just that in my mind, if Ben's healthy, I'm not even considering rust. Mm-hmm. That's all. But maybe it should be considered.
Nah. 15-1, man. I ain't tripping. Hey, 15-1. Ben leading the league in passing yards, passing attempts, passing touchdowns, all that, man.
So if we're assuming Ben's healthy, mm-hmm. what other reason do you have for them 11 wins, or maybe you being a little more skeptical?
So first off, okay, what's the health of James Conner? What is he going to look like when he comes back? And not just 1 or 2 games for the duration of the season, because we've seen when he is on, he can go on a 5-6 game stretch and it looks great. The offense is clicking. And then you'll see those 4 or 5 games where he's hurt or in and out of the lineup and how the offense looks. So for me, I need to see, okay, what is that going to look like? Because we haven't seen it for a full season just yet. So that's a concern. Receivers, what are we doing? Are our guys is Juju going to get back to form? Is Juju going to show that he's the number 1 guy? Or it was last year more of what is real for him? That's what I need to see. We're going to find out. Deontay Johnson, I'm expecting a big year for him. But also you have to anticipate that now teams aren't going to just say, oh, man, we ain't worried about that rookie. Now they're going to be like, oh, no. All right, that's Deontay right there. Make sure you got eyes on him.
It's working out with AB.
All I'm saying is this, man. A lot changes when they get more tape on you. So for me, it's not just so far gone that, oh yeah, man, these dudes is guaranteed they're gonna be nice next year, because we had that same conversation last year with Juju and James Washington, right? What do we say? Oh man, both of them dudes gonna step. We never gonna feel that loss. We good,
dude. Not having Ben does kind of hurt that, but here's the thing.
Okay,
what I do like about what you're saying though is, you didn't even touch on defense though, but
because I haven't got there yet. I literally went running back, right, receivers.
Go defense, because I was gonna say
I wasn't even done with defense. I wasn't done with offense yet.
All right, go ahead.
we still talking about why I'm concerned. Why I'm saying 11.
I know. Go ahead.
Back to the offensive line, right? So was the offensive line the best unit in the league last year?
We declined a little.
That's safe to say we declined. Okay. So now on a declining offensive line, we're going to essentially have 2 new position starters on that offensive line. It's safe for me to be like, you know what? I'm a little concerned about that. I don't look at that as, oh man, just plug and play, because we see what that looks like when it doesn't work out. When you put other guys in there, and we've seen it with multiple organizations. This is a very, it's one of them things that the data proves it. You know what I mean?
I feel good about Banner and Fowler though, but I get your point.
But it's no guarantee that Banner's going to be the guy. I like Banner. I'm voting for Banner just because I'm biased. It's hard for me to be biased because I like both of them. I know both of them. Right. Kicked to both of them. But Banner was on the show. Okafor has been on the show, so I'm gonna ride with Banner. True. Just in that regard. But if Okafor comes on the show,
a good interview. Yeah,
if Okafor comes on the show, now we gotta
But then he's got to give a better interview than Banner, though.
I'm just saying, man. But it's gonna be hard to do just in terms of rating it, because Banner did it when we were on the come up. Right now, we're a little bit more established.
Right.
So Okafor could have an easier lane. We already see the views. Shout out to everybody that views on YouTube too.
He could if he's named starter and he comes on. At that point, that could be good timing, right? Yeah. Right. I see what you're saying. It doesn't necessarily have to be as entertaining,
right? But we can look at the views and say, "Oh, he got more views, so he's a better interviewer."
Yeah, whoever brings more views. Right? We could probably cycle through that Banner one though, because that's a lot of the shit in there is
it was dope, bro. It was.
All right, so O-line, any concern? Tight end, Vance McDonald.
How you feel about
him? If he's got a connection with Ben, we'll be good. Maybe draft a guy for the second tight end.
I was about to ask you, what do you mean by he has a connection with Ben? Are we talking like a Switzer type thing? Because Switzer has a connection with Ben too. I'm just dead serious. What is that?
He did have a good season though, legitimately.
Okay. Fair enough.
What, 600 yards, right? 600?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Oh, I think you're talking about last year. I was like, I don't remember 600 off the top of my head.
Last year, we could just throw that out.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
So
I like that.
Defense then?
So defensively, we're banking on Tua coming back being healthy.
Yep.
Banking on that. Inside linebacker, Devin Bush is going to take that step. I'm very confident in that. It'd be interesting to see how they use Vince. Are they using him every down with Devin? Similar to what they were doing with Mark Banner, some of those cover situations, or are they going to look to the younger guy, Ulysses Gilbert, or do they potentially go through the draft? That's some question marks around that. Obviously, it's not a lot of depth at the linebacker spots right now. Like I said, when you lose Chick, when you lose Tyler, that does cripple you a little bit in terms of your flexi. Oh, and Mark Barron, that cripples you a little bit in terms of what you're trying to do. If one of those guys were to go down, how do you handle that? And the same can be said in the secondary too, man. Still not a lot of depth per se back there.
Bringing Hilton back though, and
that's a nickel corner though.
Yeah, but then you have him with Sutton and then our 2 starters.
Okay,
pretty nice.
But no, I love from a start. That's what I just said. I said depth.
No, that's 4 guys though.
Okay, so if Joe Hayden were to go down for 5 games, who's starting that corner?
Cam Sutton. You don't feel good about that?
As a 1 or 2 corner? No. As a nickel, yes.
Yeah, but
we just had that conversation with Mike Hilton.
Yeah, but if anyone's top guy goes down, you're going to be throwing in your 3rd or 4th guy as the 1. Right, that's going to suck.
I understand. I'm just simply saying, prior to this, for example, like last year, you had Artie Burns. Artie Burns is a 1 or 2 style corner from a body type, from a athletic ability standpoint. That's what I'm getting to. Whereas Mike Hilton, no matter how much you want to say Mike Hilton was a 3, if you put Mike Hilton out there versus a 1 or 2 corner, 1 or 2 receiver, is going to be different.
That's why I put Cam.
I understand.
So Cam versus Burns. You're kind of in a similar scenario there.
I understand you got the fan perspective, so it's different. No, cool,
my point is, cool. Dude, if you lose your number 1 number 1 cornerback, and you got to put your 3rd or 4th guy in, there's going to be a drop off naturally, though, right?
Not necessarily, but all right.
Not necessarily. What team though?
All right, hey man, I'm rolling with you, bro.
What other team? What other team could just pop in their 3rd or 4th cornerback like that?
You're good. Go ahead.
No, I'm asking.
No, I'm simply saying, bro. Teams miss corners. Corners sit out games when they are injured, and other corners do step up and play at a high level. That's not far fetched. Outside linebackers, they get hurt, they step up, they do it. You want the best example, James Harrison. Remember that? Joey Porter punched the dude in the face. Who has to come in? Oh my God, James Harrison. Who is this guy? What does he do? Go gets 3 sacks, becomes a legend. It happens. So don't act like backups don't come in when a number one guy goes down for whatever the reason may be. So it happens.
My point, you don't think Cam could be a starter?
As a 1 or 2 corner, I personally don't know just yet. I haven't seen that. So for me, so I'm wrong for saying that, man, we're lacking in a little bit of depth, because right now, you know who goes out there? It's not going to be Cam. It will more likely be Justin Lane, because Justin Lane is the number 1, number 2 cornerback style body. That's what I'm telling you, man.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If that's the case, then we'll see. I don't know how we're going to fill that. I just don't know how we're going to fill that then otherwise.
Probably through the draft.
Unless we have a lot of faith in Justin Lane. I mean, that's on paper, like just giving context that Lane is a high draft pick. We've had Sutton in the system for a while, and Hilton. On paper, that probably is good depth. But I get what you're saying. There's a lot of unknowns there as well.
Correct. Because what has Justin done thus far to make you confident?
I don't know. I just feel good about it. That's all. I feel good enough about it.
And I think that's the difference, because the people who've like watched him, the first preseason game he had to start, right? It didn't go well for him. He got trashed. It didn't go well for him. And then from there, you never really saw him out there like that versus quality players. So you're just kind of like, all right, well, what is this dude? No one really knows right now. So a lot of people who, if you're putting money down on it, they're a little more cautious on those guys versus just taking the approach of, well, he's a Steeler. I love Steelers. I'm putting my money down on this dude.
I didn't know I'd be putting my money down on Justin Lane.
I mean, yes, you just said. You said, man, I didn't. I'm really confident in him.
I thought it was Cam Sutton.
Yeah, but it would be Justin Lane if one of those guys went down.
Yeah, man. All right.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. That changes a little bit.
Wait, that's why they specify like a nickel corner versus like your like 1 and 2 corners, because the body types are different. It's no different than, like, for example, a wide receiver versus a tight end. Like, if Juju went down, you're not going to say, we're going to put Vance out there because Vance can play. He can ball. Like,
Hilton and Sutton would be the two that we would use corners for the like if we did a
nickel
4.
and dimes. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Got you.
Yeah, so it's different.
But then we get, all right, so if we're talking about DBs, then we got Minka, who's third
safety.
Year. I mean,
yeah, I'm extremely excited about him.
We're hoping another All-Pro season.
And Terrell Edmonds, people are on 50-50 with him. But who's your depth behind him right now?
Right. Yeah. There's been some talks about Clinton Dix.
Okay.
I mean, that wouldn't be bad.
Okay.
So we'll see.
But who's your depth behind him right now?
Overall, though, in terms of the defense, dude, are we not feeling that the defense could be just as good, if not better, than last year?
I'm confident it could be just as good.
And then the offense is house money.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is this, man. What does the linebacker situation look like? Because last year we talked about how Mark Barron played a substantial amount of snaps, whereas Vince, of the 3, played the least amount of snaps. So on paper right now, Vince is going to be out there playing that substantial amount of snaps again. That's the question.
It is the question. But in terms of just black or white defense, just as good, at least.
Yeah, that's why I said just as good. You said better.
If not better.
Just as good.
If not better. But then if you go to the offense, I know all the question marks you said there.
But you don't look at the question marks. You just say, Ben's back, we're good.
Anything's going to be better than last year, though.
Not necessarily, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I think
that's where we differ, though.
I think it's house money on the offense, man.
I'm with you.
And I'm with you. And obviously, I'm going to be more optimistic than not that it's going to be more towards what it was like 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, man. Hopefully, but
it should be drastically better.
Even if it's in between the
being
two,
healthy.
I mean, I feel like that could be, what did I say, 12 or 13, if everything goes right. Mm-hmm. If everything goes right. But to go back, did we want to touch on like the AFC North, like how we stack up now?
Yeah, man, go for it.
There's some moves being made. Shit. Because we talked about the Browns already. Ravens made some moves. Calais Campbell for a 5th rounder. And highway robbery there.
And was it Brockers too, right?
Yeah, they got Brockers. I don't
definitely shores up that deal. Godly.
So those are some names. Campbell made the Pro Bowl the last 2 or 3 years. I know Brockers' name too. Yeah. He was good. 4 or 5 years ago? Is he still that good? Or?
He's still good, but he got overshadowed a little bit by Donald, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they look good, too, and the Browns look good. So, I was reading an article. I don't know if you read it. It was by Ron Cook. He said the Steelers...
Cook!
He said that the Steelers are actually worse than they were at the end of last year. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you agree with that.
No, go ahead. Tell them why, though.
Tell them why. I mean, it's basically this full podcast, what we talk about, all the losses that we've had. Mm-hmm. And
Ron's a Ben guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he hosted a show with him. Yeah, Ron is like, you think you're a Ben guy. Ron's like a Ben guy.
No. I did read the article. So if you account for all the losses and then look at the moves that we made and players that we kept, I could see why you would say, is our roster necessarily as talented? Mm-hmm. But then if you take into account the second-year step from Devin Bush, the third-year jump with Minkah Fitzpatrick, Joe Hayden still being in his prime, maybe more on the back end, Steven Nelson in the middle of his prime, hopefully all those receivers that we talked about.
What does a third-year jump for Minkah look like right now? I mean, this dude's been an all-pro.
Yeah,
like, what are we talking about? Like, it's not like he's gonna go from being like average to like great. Like,
it was only his second year, so you're expecting maybe even better. Okay. I don't know how.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what would better look like?
I don't know. What's his rating on Madden? I mean, I think they got him at I think they got him at like high 80. So there's definitely they're saying there's some room for improvement.
I'm just simply asking, like, what would like a drastically better Minkah look like? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm not sure. I just would think you're getting better from year 2 to year 3 now. Could you not?
Go ahead.
Wait, so has Mahomes hit his peak after the second year?
I'm just simply saying, like, when you look at those two dudes, they already are like Mahomes is the best at his position, and Minkah is top 5 at his position league wide. So when I look at those guys, I'm like, do you really feel that big of a difference if they were to improve? Whereas James Washington, for example,
feeling a difference,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like, we're saying, because like you're making this argument of why they should be better, and you're like, well, Minkah's gonna get better. And it's like, are you gonna really feel Minkah improving that much more versus if James Washington, for example, became a 1,000-yard receiver? You would feel that. Whereas if when AB was a 1,000-yard receiver, could you feel the difference if he had 1,200 yards one year versus 1,400 the next year? Even though technically it's better, you don't really feel that big of a difference because it's not that big of a jump. That's what I'm saying.
I will say Devin Bush then, and then we got Stephon Tuitt coming back from injury. He wasn't there last year. So we'll talk about that whole feeling. If these receivers make a jump, you're going to feel that.
Absolutely.
So I get what he's saying just based off the losses, but if you're accounting for, all right, the progression going into next year with these guys and Ben's coming back, then I definitely see the other side where no, I think we're going to be better.
Shout out the Cook.
What, you like the article?
No, I'm just saying, like, no, because obviously Ron Cook is technically like a coworker of mine.
Wait, okay.
Oh, the fan.
I know, but have you guys done radio together?
I've been a guest on his, but like we're he's the afternoon show. Yeah, and I'm in the like the drive time.
Yeah.
Well, he's like mid morning, excuse me, and I'm drive time. So yeah, so mid morning is like that 10 to 2, and then I'm 2 to 6.
And then he brought up how the Ravens and the Browns have been killing it this offseason and how we're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean we hit on it earlier in terms of why the division is going to be a lot better next year. I mean, this is just on paper because that's the same thing we're doing with the Steelers. We're saying from an on paper standpoint, our projections and stuff like that. It's easy to make those same projections for those teams, and for some of them, they have to be feeling even more excited just because. I mean, for example, we talk about the Bengals. Like, they're potentially going to get Joe Burrow, which would change.
Watch out for the Dolphins, man. I told you.
Well, the thing is this. The Dolphins would have to give up stuff to trade.
Yeah, they'd give up a lot.
You know what I mean? Yes. So it's like.
And they'll probably draft a QB anyway.
Right. So it's not as if they're sitting here and they're hoping that somebody doesn't take him. It's like, no, they got full first opportunity at him. So even if they were to not take him and they get 2 first-round picks and they draft Tua, for example, or one of these other quarterbacks, it's like, that's still going to be a drastic upgrade from when we were watching them play Ryan Finley as their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
We already talked about their running back. I think they, I forgot what they did at offensive line. We know they're getting their first round pick from last year. He should be back healthy this year. AJ Green coming back. I know the same way you feel about Ben and his recovery, you feel the same way about AJ Green and his recovery because you even wanted to trade for AJ while he was hurt. So I know you feel he's going to be 100% ready to go.
He's another year older. What's so funny?
I just love how you like, if it's a Steeler or it's Ben.
Or if we're trading for them.
Or if we're trading for them, your perspective is always a glass half full. If it's anybody that's viewed as the opposition, It's like, nah, he ain't like that. He all right. He average. It's just hilarious, man. That's all. I love it, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's throwing him the ball, too? I mean.
Well, if it's a Joe Burrow, that might be a little different. If it's a Tua, that might be a little different.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player, yes.
So it's safe to say that they could potentially be better than last year, correct?
A tad, yes.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, Finley was their QB. Depending on how Burrow or Tua is or whoever they draft, yeah, like I said, house money with our offense. It's basically
definitely house money for their offense. God.
Yeah. So
they still got some question marks on
honestly,
defense. Honestly,
yeah, is our division the toughest division in the league?
Oh man, I think the AFC East, depending on what.
Really?
No, not necessarily the best in the league, but I'm saying they're going to be up there. You see the moves the Bills make. You see the moves the Dolphins have been making. Even if they don't.
What are you talking about in terms of just the quality of teams or everyone clashing?
In terms of the quality of teams. Because that's what you're saying, right? You're saying like, when you're saying is the AFC North the best division in the league, I'm just trying to think division by division right now.
You think East is in the mix?
I do think they're in the mix. Yeah.
Wait, who's the fourth team there?
The Jets.
Oh, Dolphins, Jets.
Bills and Patriots. Mm-hmm.
Really? So you're thinking all those teams are going to make a jump outside of the Bills?
Well, I think definitely the Dolphins make a huge jump. Even if they just roll with Fitzpatrick at quarterback, I still think they're going to be a lot better. Because remember, this dude for a while was like messing up the tank job they were doing. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we saw they were one super dumb bonehead defensive call away from doing something crazy here in Pittsburgh. You remember that game? We was all like, holy cow, what's going on? We're about to fire everybody. Yeah.
People were calling for Duck there.
Yeah. So that's my thing. And then even with the Jets, we saw even as bad as their season went last year, they still, I mean, shoot, I ain't even gonna go there in terms of teams that they had beat, but
dude,
I'm not going there. I said I'm not going there. We're not going there. All I'm simply saying is
we got to be over last
all I'm simply saying is they can be productive. Sam Darnold can play if he's not seeing ghosts.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I think you're higher on those teams than me.
That's fair. I'm just looking at what the records say.
Yeah. Probably you're probably higher on those quarterbacks too, because I think we
already had that conversation too about Josh Allen and Sam Darnold.
Well, yeah. Did you want to talk about this then too? Your move, the move to the Bills at all?
What,
them getting Diggs?
I think that's huge.
Okay.
So you don't think Diggs is the number one receiver?
It's a good move. Yeah. I think it's a good move.
Yeah.
I think they're making some plays. We'll see what happens.
I mean, they've been in the playoffs 2 of the past 3 years, so I think everything speaks for itself.
I think we're being nice to each other right now.
I'm leaving it at that. One team's been to the playoffs 2 of the past 3 years.
I think I was trying to stir something up there that didn't need to be stirred up, because I have nothing bad to say about the move.
I was about to say, because how you want to do is I feel like they made some really good moves. They've upgraded their special teams. Not only do they bring in Tyler, but they brought back, I think his name is Tawan Jones, I want to say. But he's like been a highly productive special teams player as well. Obviously, Stephon Diggs, I think that's the biggest thing, because for them last year, everything was in place except they didn't have a true number one receiver. They were playing the equivalent of like small ball. They got John Brown and Cole Beasley as like their main receivers last year. So now when you bring in a guy like Stephon Diggs who can legit terrorize, who doesn't have to compete with Adam Thielen for touches as well, like for me, I'm like, yeah, it's safe to say that's going to probably be a huge upgrade for them. And when you got a young quarterback with a big arm, it's like, dude, when you have a guy that you can just the Joe Flacco effect, man, just throw it up. Either you can get a pass interference, you can come down with it. Like, he hasn't had that type of receiver. So that's why for me, I'm like, yeah, I think that they're going to look a lot better next year. And they got a lot of their pieces coming back.
Interesting.
And they got a stud D tackle in Ed Oliver.
And they don't have Brady in the division anymore. All right.
But even I personally don't think any of that's going to matter now, just because with the new playoff format, with only the number one overall seed getting the bye, you're still going to have to play in that first, those wild card rounds. So it doesn't matter anymore. I don't view them as being the one seed. I view Kansas City as the one seed.
Who's the Bills?
For the AFC. I said, I don't view the Bills as ever getting the one seed. Because because now you have to be the 1 seed to get a bye. So it doesn't matter when you get to the playoffs. If you're not the number 1 overall seed, you're not getting a bye. So it doesn't matter. So for me, I'm like, no matter how many games the Bills win, if they win the AFC, the AFC East, that's cool, but they're never going to get the 1 seed because I think Kansas City gets the 1 seed.
Okay.
And the same with us. It's like, it don't matter if you win the AFC North now because you're not, but it's a lot harder now because now you're going to have to win 3 games to even get in that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different.
It is.
Shout out to the CBA, man.
I didn't like it.
The expanded playoffs, man. It's the gift and the curse right now.
All right. So real quick then, how do you feel about us versus the division in terms of off-season or how we stack up right now if you had to rank?
With the healthy Ben, I think it comes down to us in Baltimore like it always does.
Okay.
I do think Baltimore has the better roster on paper right now, offensively and defensively. And they do got the reigning MVP. So I think a lot of that plays into it. But yeah, that's how I look at it. I think right now.
So you're not making too much about Cleveland's moves?
Well, I just feel like in the end, they're going to have a new head coach, but they're going to have to deal with the same thing that we just talked about. The thing that's going to hurt Ben potentially in terms of not having the offseason. They're going to have to do that as well. And it's a lot harder when it's a new head coach because now your whole regime, you can't even implement that until who knows when everything's going to get back to normal because of the coronavirus. So with that being the case, the offense you're trying to implement, the defense you're trying to implement, the culture you're trying to implement, like it's going to be hard to do that on the fly. Whereas all the other teams in the division, they got the same coaches. They got the same staff coming back. So I think that part is different. I think Joe Burrow, if he is the guy that goes to Cincinnati, which we're all anticipating, is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for him too, just because he's not going to get those OTA reps, those rookie mini camp reps, those mini camp reps. So that's why I think it hurts both of them a lot more. Whereas with Ben, even if he isn't able to get all of the offseason stuff, he still knows the system. The guys still know him. It's still the same organization, coaches, all that's the same. So if it came down to it, I lean towards Baltimore just because all of their guys are healthy and all of those guys have been playing together under the same coach. Whereas with us, we're going to have obviously Ben, who is going to have to be catching up. And that's the part where I'm like, okay, I would lean towards them in that department.
Okay. So you don't see it as Baltimore's running away with anything?
Nah, but they never do.
Okay.
I mean, last year, like you said, you throw last year out because Ben was hurt, but they never, I mean, even the 4 years I was here, it always came down to 1 or 2 games. Always.
Okay. I'm happy to hear that, man.
What you thought it was going to be?
I didn't know what you were going to say. I thought you were going to throw us in the 3rd spot after the Browns or something.
That's what you're thinking, clearly.
No.
Yeah.
Hell no.
That's what you were thinking over there, man.
I got us at 1, dude. I do. I didn't know if you were thinking because they made those moves and stuff and we're kind of low key that they jumped.
You always have us at 1 though, so that's why I'm just kind of like, I'm not even surprised by that.
No, yeah, there's no reason for that. I thought that was a given.
That's why I always say, like, hey, if we were to do this in a Deke, this isn't on the record. Deke, this isn't against what you're, again, just say, non-biased.
Dude, no, this is true. It's always how I feel. I think we're going to win every game like going in.
No, I understand
If we have Ben. I understand that. Because obviously I predicted against them last year.
I'm just simply saying, you did it earlier in the show. You were like, you know what? I think 12 to 13 wins, right? That was your like, I'm not going to be Deke. I'm just going to be Eric right here. Can I get Eric? Can I just get Eric for this AFC North conversation?
I think we're going to win. Yeah, okay. I think we're going to win the AFC North.
Okay.
What do you...
No, all right, cool. Why?
What?
And why is that? Everything
I've said. I mean, Ben being back is huge. The defense is going to be as good, if not better. Mm-hmm. And we're house money on offense. And that 14-2 season by Baltimore... Mm-hmm. Are we duplicating it? Is it guaranteed?
So they dropped 2 wins.
We saw it with the Rams. Yeah, that's what I mean.
That still has them at 12.
I think they're going to be good. Yeah, but I think we're going to win. That's all. Push comes to shove. We showed whenever we played Lamar the first time we can contain them. Second time it was just over. The season was
it wasn't done because if we would have won and the Titans would have lost, we would have been in the playoffs. So don't give me that. Oh, we were just out there because they had something to play for.
Morale was down. Morale was definitely down.
Funny, bro.
It was raining. RG3s. It was just down.
You're funny.
It didn't feel real.
You didn't want it to feel real. Huh? You didn't want it to feel real. It was real.
Hard. It was hard.
It was kind of like reality, man. Every once in a while, it just smacks you. It's cool.
It was tough. That's how we ended the season. I couldn't believe it. But we talked about that. We didn't deserve to be in the playoffs anyway.
Hey, man. If this the new playoff format, though, man, hey, we would have been in there, baby.
We didn't need to
we got a chance. Let's go.
And I'll say this. always, I want to be in the playoffs. Always, I would prefer that. But and we talked about us versus the other teams in there. It just didn't add up.
It would have been us versus the Chiefs. Super Bowl.
It just didn't add up. Mahomes. On the road, it just didn't add up.
You were funny, bro.
Is there anything else we're missing or want to touch on? Anything like around the league?
No, because I think the biggest thing we were talking about was just like which is going to be the toughest division next year. But honestly, man, we can get into that another time, man. We about to throw that out there right now. It's still free agency. It's still being moves made, man. And when I look at the clock, we already an hour and 30 into this thing.
I'm just trying to. Is there anything we missed? Because there's just a lot of news going on.
It is, man. It is. I think the biggest thing right now is just seeing what other moves are going to happen through free agency.
Okay,
that's the biggest thing right now.
Okay, yeah, I don't really have anything else.
Yeah, because there's been some trades made, but we'll get into all the league-wide moves that have been made. I want to wait to do that the next one once everything is cleared up.
Okay, is there anything you wanted to hit on with Brady again? Anything like about the story, how it happened?
That surprised you? That. Nah, yeah, I was fine with that. Honestly, you?
Well, here's the thing. Once it happened, I was listening to stories and interviews and reporters talk about how it went down. It's just interesting to me how this was years in the making. That how Belichick coaches, what his style was with Brady. I think Brady felt disrespected, and you saw those pay cuts that he took. I sent you the list of all the, I think it was the per million that he was making every year in the league, and I don't think there was one really over 20 until like really late in his career.
Yeah, man.
So he was always playing on a discount, and I guess just being that ultimate team guy and wanted to be respected more. And
shout out to Brady.
Well, here's the thing though, and it feels like this is a very true rumor that they wanted to keep Garoppolo.
They did. No, not they. Belichick wanted to.
Did. Yeah. But they ended up.
And they were gonna keep Garoppolo and get rid of Brady.
Yeah. So that was an extra 2 or 3 years they got out of Brady.
Actually, like 2 Super Bowls out of that too,
I know.
Man.
I was gonna say. I mean, Belichick shouldn't be complaining too much, but he's probably thinking in the back of his mind, I would have done it with Garoppolo anyway.
Right, and had a Garoppolo for the next 10 plus years, more than likely.
So and then there's a lot of people thinking though, and I don't think you're thinking that, and I don't think I'm thinking this either, that Brady's washed and he's going to end up regretting this, like a Joe Namath Rams thing or a Johnny Unitas. Yeah, I don't think that. I think he's going to be motivated as hell, and this is like a whole new challenge for him. It's just a new like step in his career.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just found it all pretty interesting how that dynamic played out and kind of the behind the scenes and the stories. But other than that, I don't really have much else. Yeah. I think he's going to do good.
He's going to ball out. He's got weapons.
Yeah,
got Bruce Arians.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are saying he's gonna have fun. That's probably gonna be the case too.
Oh yeah, it's a totally different vibe he's going into with Arians and Tampa than what he was doing up there when he was doing his military scenes, man.
Is probably like the chillest head coach too.
Yeah, he looks like it. I never had the opportunity to like meet him, but he looks like it.
Well, it seems whenever he went to the Colts, obviously he coached Ben, but like even with the Cardinals, he was always just really chill and like the players love him. So we'll see what happens.
Be interesting, man.
Yeah, dude. So you ready?
I'm excited for these guys next year, man.
Who, Tampa?
I am, man. I already said that.
I mean, we'll see. I'm excited for Brady. I'll put it. I don't care. I don't care about the team.
You're funny, man. That's all I'm saying. You're funny.
What do you mean?
You already know. You're good, bro.
I know what.
Hey, man. Hey. We appreciate everybody for tuning in today.
Absolutely. Until next time.
Peace.